When Big died the next day, Black Hollywood was dissolved.
That was the end of it.
LA went black for 10 years. Think about it. After the night Big was killed in New York, LA went black. And LA used to be the jam. Everybody was in LA. But when Big got killed, LA went dark. So you had Big and Pac get killed. So the whole, it kind of, it killed the West Coast.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gonna talk.
Look at the South and the West have always been allies. The South and the West got treated the same. So we always been allies. I think Texas being where it's set the whole time has really been our connection to the West.
That's hard.
You know what I mean? Like everything that came out of the West had to go through Texas before it got to us. So Eazy-E, anything that was gangster, America's Most Wanted, anything that was gangster that we listened to, that it had to come through Texas, and it had to get really the okay with Texas before it even got to us. If it wasn't jamming in Texas, it wasn't jamming in Atlanta. So for me personally, I just think that we just learned that everything that happens out here, it's how you play it.
The thing I said, I just seen the way you handled yourself, and it make us proud. You know what I mean? When you got somebody that really, like, you one of those guys, man, that I look to, man. Like I said, you guys, Goody Mob, I knew y'all had that connection with everybody in Texas like that. I knew that. I could feel that when you did that grills with Nelly, and Pow Wow was on there, and you know they were pushing them damn grills back then. That was, y'all actually promoted the hell out of that.
Yeah, we helped.
You know how many people got grills after that?
I don't know. We spent so much money with that. Walk around 30,000-40,000 in my mouth. My daddy like, you's a dumb fool. You got all that shit in your mouth. I was like, hey man,
my daddy used to tell me the same thing.
All that shit in your mouth, man. You ain't talking no girl, but that she like it, daddy. No, they don't, man. You like it.
You came hard with that though. Like you was one that came like on that verse. You stuck out, boy. Like when you hit it, and then y'all shared the verse.
Yeah, me and Ali.
You and Ali shared that verse, like y'all going back and forth. That was hard to me.
And I'm gonna tell you. I think me and Ali really we killed that record, you know, and I don't know, man. It just seems like in this business, when you don't know how to play that game that they play, it takes you a little longer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm fine with that though, cause you know, just like we said, you know, with Suge, with everybody, I just think that we came from the era where you knew not to play with folk. You know what I mean? Like, it was always four of us. So we were never worried about no confrontations with nobody. You know what I mean? Like, so, but I think that if you didn't carry yourself in a certain way, the elders of that time didn't respect you. You know what I mean? Like, first time we went to Dallas, we went to Houston, Pimp took us to see Jay Prince. You know what I mean?
Really?
Like, you know, when you got to the West Coast during that time, you had to go see Concepcion.
That's right.
That's
right.
Mike Concepcion.
I hear that a lot.
You had to go to him
go see him
before you could even move around in that city in the early 90s. So for me personally, I just look at it as we walked them hallways when it was nothing but air and opportunity, and then nothing happened. So a lot of these cats that done got gangster at the end of this thing, it's funny because the real gangsters ain't got quiet, and there's been a whole bunch of stick figures out here now. You know what I mean? Because back then you got to look. They tell me all the time. They be like, Gipp, man, what? How you think it was? You think today more violent than then? I said, hey, bro, let me tell you something. Back then, wasn't no cameras. Folk got in your ass.
That's
man.
right.
That's right. Respect was respect. Like now, you say something to somebody, they gonna look around before they do something to you. They looking. Man, I'm gonna let you pass, youngster.
No, that's real.
But back in our day, it wasn't no pass, and you disrespected the wrong player. You had to deal with that right there, where you stand at with that disrespect. And I think that the industry and this computer made it where a lot of people talk crazy on this here. But if in our time, you know, this here, you know, like that'll get you hurt.
Think about it. That's the way you said you was there when Pac did that. Hit 'Em Up.
Yeah.
That that's the one of the coldest songs to ever come out. This how did you try to say, hey man? You didn't say nothing. You just like
I just knew that it was gonna go bad. I just knew that
because it wasn't like now, like you just said.
Yeah, like I just knew that it was gonna go bad, and I knew that the energy you put out is the energy you receive. So my thing will always be about how organized noise taught us. Organized noise always taught us about being men, having respect, and wanting to be better at your craft. They put people like George Clinton, Dallas Austin, Jermaine. A lot of these people was around us before we blew, or we was able to see their success, see some of the mistakes. But at the same time, too, Atlanta and just being reared up here and having to understand that, the things that King did and some of the heroes we got from this city, you can still see it. And I tell people all the time, say, bro, like, we are in Atlanta, this is to me, it's like one of the greatest representations of what we are at our best. You can still go and see the house Martin Luther King stayed
right,
in.
not far.
Not
even far from here.
So for me personally, what other of our black heroes do they hold up like that in other cities? I don't see it. You know what I mean? And what Maynard Jackson did for this city to make 30% of all the business that ever come out of that airport goes to black people.
Wow.
That's why I tell people it's more affluent, rich black people in Atlanta than anywhere else in the South, or probably in the States. And I've been saying this since I've been a kid.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? Like, the man Russell, that man built half the city, and that's a black man.
That's
but
hard.
you wouldn't hear that in New York. You wouldn't hear that in LA. You wouldn't hear that in other cities. You only gonna hear that about them kind of people in Atlanta. So we, to the other people that wasn't our color, we came off snooty a little bit because we had that pride that other people didn't walk around with. And I didn't think that any other race was better than us or the chosen. We the chosen. Where we from. So when I went to New York, and I'm sitting here talking to all these other kind of people, and they telling me what's great and what's not great, and I'm like, man, motherfucker, I ain't even go to school with none of y'all. I ain't even go to school with nobody that didn't look like me. The whole time I went to school in Atlanta, I never went to school with nobody that people look like me. So my arrogance I can get just as arrogant as you. You talking about Israel, I'm talking about Georgia.
They called Georgia Black Hollywood at one time.
I mean, it's only Black Hollywood because after they killed Big, Black Hollywood died that night.
Wow. That
when
night.
Big died that night, Black Hollywood died.
Really? I heard it after
that. Go back and look at the date. When Big died the next day, Black Hollywood was dissolved.
That was the end of it.
LA went black for 10 years. Think about it. The night Big was killed in New York, LA went black. And LA used to be the jam. Everybody was in LA. But when Big got killed, LA went dark. So you had Big and Pac get killed. So the whole, it killed the West Coast at that time.
Yeah.
It killed it. It was like, okay, Pac got killed in Vegas, Big got killed in LA. We cool with LA. We cool with the West. Think about it. The music, you ain't know nothing about nobody from LA till Game showed up with 50.
That's real.
Yeah.
Then came Kendrick.
Yeah, but Atlanta was loud to the end though.
But
you couldn't hear nothing else.
We were loud.
You couldn't hear nothing else.
That's when it died. That's when New York was already dead. That's when they killed themselves, and that's when the South just took over.
It was gone.
It was like, it was over with. And it's like, if you think about it now, if any kid in LA, if you ain't making a top 40 song, you're not getting on the radio.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gonna talk.